Thank you. I'll pass the microphone or the spotlight over to Matthew Lingard, who will be our host for our trivia night. So, Matthew, off to
All
you.
right. Thank you very much, Alex, and good afternoon or evening or morning, wherever you might be. And I just, first of all, before we get started, just want to thank Alex and Erica for inviting me and allowing me to lead this this time of trivia. Once again, if any of you were here last at the previous conference last year, we did this with a lot of enjoyment, and this is an opportunity for you to relax, to unwind, and to apply the knowledge that you have. And the focus of the theme this year is on the environment, of course. So we have 12 questions that we're going to go through. We're going to try our best to give as much time to each question as possible, but we do have a time limit here. I'm going to share my screen. Oh, host disabled participant screen sharing. So
I got you.
All right, thank
there
you.
you are. No problem, Matthew.
Excellent. Okay. We have 12 questions to go through here, and a couple of them are multiple choice. A few of them require you to be able to see the screen and see the image because it's focused on what the image is specifically. So I'll go through all of that as we hit each of the questions. And then once we go through all of the questions, I'll give you some time to think of the answers, and then we'll take the answers up all together at the end. So, please feel free to ask for any clarification if you need it as we go along. Okay, so we're gonna get straight in here with one of my favorite photos. There we go, rainbow. And here, I'm just gonna collapse because I can't actually see the wording on this. Oops, my apologies. Give me a second.
Spoilers.
I know.
You can either hide the thumbnail video if the heads are.
There we go. Okay, hid the thumbnail video.
Well, we can't see the.
You can't see
presentation because you're not screen sharing.
Okay, my apologies.
Let's see. Maybe I can come into.
Try that again. Everybody
you can drag it around.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go like this, I think.
If you put it full screen, you can drag the you are viewing Matthew Lynn or the little green part. I think you can drag it around.
Okay, let's try that then.
Or if you
yes, I can. Okay, fantastic. All right, here we go. All right, so this photo right here is called the most influential environmental photo ever. Was taken by astronaut William Anders on December 24th, 1968 during the Apollo 8 mission. What is the name of this famous photo? And there is a World Federalist connection here too. As you can see, it's of the world without borders.
We have uploaded a malware into all your computers, so we'll know if you're Googling the answers too. So.
Yeah, that's right. It's on the honor system here, but
yeah.
hopefully it's just for fun. Yes, sir. I can't.
Please don't put your answers in the chat because then everyone will have the answers, I think. So what we're doing is we're writing down our answers, and then we're we're gonna take them up.
We're gonna be taking it up at the end. Yeah. Okay. Next one. So oh come on. Okay.
Transition is so good though.
Thank you. For some reason, because I'm on a Mac and it doesn't want to show my my mouse pointer, I can't actually. There we go. Can I do it like this? Okay. What is the name of this famous photograph of Earth suspended in a sunbeam taken from 6 billion kilometers away? Sorry, Keith, you have a question?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was going to answer the previous question.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, no problem.
Now I get the rules. Okay.
All right. And I'm not sure if anybody can actually see the Earth. It's just a small little point in this image. Taken, I believe, by Voyager 2. And it was commissioned, so there's no bonus questions in this, but it was commissioned by a very famous scientist and science communicator?
You can throw out those bonus questions as you think of them. That's a good one.
All right. All right. Next one. Okay. Known colloquially as the seventh plastic continent, what is the name of this 1.6 million square kilometer island of trash? It looks like my daughter's bathtub when she decides to take all of the toys and just throws them in there.
Gotta bring everything.
Everything. So, and there's a specific title to it, but if you get like the gist of the name of it, I'll allow that as well. I'll accept that as well. All right. Everybody good to keep going? Yes? All right, awesome. A biome is a distinct geographical region with a specific climate, vegetation, and animal life. It consists of a biological community that is formed in response to its physical environment. Of all the land biomes in the world, which is the largest? And I've given this as a multiple choice. Is it desert, rainforest, tundra, or boreal forest? And I believe, so just to focus it, it's the land biome, because aquatic biomes are the largest, but of these. And these are the top four. So they're kind of neck and neck. All right, just gonna give a moment longer. Okay. Number 5. About 71% of the Earth consists of water. The oceans hold approximately 96.5% of it, with the remaining being stored in ice caps, lakes, rivers, and ponds. Now, what percentage of all that water is safe for us to consume as humans? I have to admit, before I don't know. You know what? I'm going to hold this comment because I feel like it might be a bit of a spoiler or a hint. All right, number 6. Which country has the highest percentage of its citizens saying that they trust the climate science consensus? So 86% asked, and the source is the World Economic Forum. So is it A, China, B, India, C, the USA, or D, Russia? I'm gonna have to say that, like, whichever of these countries it is, good on them. And there's quite a disparity if you look at all the countries in the world about whether or not citizens say they trust the consensus. Okay, moving on, number 7. Besides us, what species naturally produces the largest amount of greenhouse gases, which accounts for 14.5% of greenhouse gas emissions globally? Pretty significant chunk.
Could the delegate from Oceania stop putting every answer in the chat? Weird. It's okay if it's a guess. but we're taking up the answers at the end. So you're welcome to share what you put.
Okay,
We'll have lots of
sorry.
time. Yeah,
All right.
it's okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, I'm sorry if I wasn't clear on that. Sorry. All right. Moving right along to number 8. All right. How many times can a single piece of paper be recycled before its fibers become too weak to hold together? Is it A, 2, B, 6, C, 12, or D, 42? The answer to life. If we have any Star Wars fans here, we need to be more like the Jawas. They know what they're doing.
The next session is environmental sci-fi.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll take a poll.
Okay. Number 9. The Amazon rainforest, if you spans multiple countries in South America. Please name at least 3 of the countries. If you can name all of them, that's good on you, but we are only asking for 3. Sorry, just give me a moment really quickly. Okay. All right, number 10. What is responsible for producing about 70% of the oxygen we find in our atmosphere? A significant number. Sorry, my kids and my niece and nephew just came back home, so.
Happy Family Day to all those
Yeah, happy
in Canada, I suppose. There's a holiday, so.
Okay. Number 11. Which bird species embarking on one of the longest migratory journeys connects the Arctic tundra and the southern hemisphere? And just, it's not a hint, but it's not a swan. It's just the best image I could find for a question mark made out of a bird. There's a recent animated movie that just came out called Migration, which is a really fun movie. If anybody's seen it, it's really good. Okay, number 12, last but not least, which international agreement aims to regulate the trade of endangered species to protect biodiversity? And this is an acronym, so you're welcome to use the acronym. If you know the full name of it, you can write that down too. It's a mouthful, but I'll stop talking there. Say anything else about that?
There's that global affairs coming in.
Yeah. Knowledge unlocked. Here we go. Okay. I think that is good. Does anybody need me to repeat any of the questions or go back to any of the questions before we take them up? You guys good for this? All right. We will swing back all the way. Oops, too far. And right here. Again, this photo is called the most influential environmental photo ever. Does anybody know the name of this photo? And you can feel free to say it if you want.
It's Earthrise.
Earthrise, that's correct. Earthrise. Again there, taken from the moon. Beautiful planet Earth that we all inhabit and love so much. Again, strangely, no borders to be seen from here. Okay. Again, I can see it on my screen. I don't know if you can see it on yours.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
There is a pale blue dot right there, suspended in a sunbeam. Does anybody know the name of this photo?
Pale blue dot.
The pale blue dot. That's correct. The pale blue dot. Now, okay, so bonus points for
Carl Sagan.
Carl Sagan. Yep, Carl Sagan commissioned this, and I do believe it was Voyager 2, not Voyager 1, that took this photo. I'd have to double check. But it's the furthest image taken of the Earth as the Voyager probe is leaving the solar system. And as you can see there, suspended in a sunbeam, and there's a beautiful sort of speech, or one could even say a poem, written by Carl Sagan to go along with this. Yeah, I encourage you all to check that out. All right, colloquially known as the seventh plastic continent, which is not my bathtub, but is in fact, anybody, Bueller? The Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Oh, sorry, somebody put their hands up. Central Asia block.
Oh, that's okay. I would just kind of say it was the Pacific dump or something.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah.
The Great Pacific Garbage Patch, or, you know, if you just say the Pacific Garbage Patch, doesn't really need the great. I don't find it that
not so great, yeah.
Not so great. Pretty terrible. You should call it the terrible Pacific Garbage Patch. But yeah, significant amount. It's hard to take a photo of the entire 1.6 million square kilometers of it, but it does in fact exist, and it is something we really need to address.
I think in the event yesterday, someone mentioned how much it had gotten thicker as well. I can't remember exactly how much, but
yeah, I can imagine that it's increasing rather than decreasing, unfortunately. Okay, the next one. So again, I'm not going to reread all of this, but all these biomes. Oh yeah, Latin America, Nada?
Would it by chance be the rainforest?
It's not the rainforest. Good guess. I personally thought the rainforest as well. Keith?
Yeah, boreal forest.
It is, in fact, the boreal forest, also known as the taiga, Taiga. And they're really all pretty neck and neck. There's not that much greater, but it is, in fact, considered the largest of the land biomes. Sorry, Keith, you have something else to add, or?
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. All right. Number 5 here. So our Earth is a water world by these stats. 71% of the Earth consists of water, with the oceans holding 96.5% of that. As you can imagine, once again, ice caps significantly are reduced now, so less and less being stored there, but still in lakes and rivers and ponds. So of all of this water that we have here on Earth, does anybody want to venture a guess as to how much of it is safe for our consumption? Evan?
It's So I think it's just only the glaciers, but just like I know for a fact it's like less than 1%, but I think it's like 0 point something 0.2 or something.
From all of I've looked up, it is 1% of it, which again, like might be, you know, it's not an exact 1% if you take the whole percentage of fresh water, but if you say 1% or around 1%, I'll accept that. I should say it's a little bit of a flex answer on this one. But as you can imagine, even us living in a water world, there's so little of it to go around. Oh, our Oceania delegate?
Yes, I guess 1.5%.
So yeah, hovering. If you say around 1%, I would accept that within the margin of maybe a 0.5%. Yeah. Which again, if we could just desalinate all the water, but then that comes with its own issues, environmental issues, right? So, okay, moving forward here. Number 6. So which of these 4 countries has the highest percentage of its citizens saying that they trust the climate science consensus? Nada?
This is taking a guess, but would it be India?
It is. It is India. And just in the order of the countries that we have here, India, then the US, then China, and then Russia at the bottom. There's a really cool map. If anybody here is on Reddit, and there's a couple of subreddit map subreddits, but that's where I first saw this, and I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. Again, it's the World Economic Forum, comes as the source, so there might be variations depending on what source you get, but this is what I found. All right, number 7. So which species produces the largest amount of greenhouse gases outside of us? Because I feel like that would have been the question if I just said which species is number 1. But number 2 here, Keith, would you like to offer
methanogen bacteria.
So, I mean, I guess that's the answer. What sort of specific animal do these bacteria inhabit primarily?
Well, you're talking about cattle.
Flora, cattle. Yeah. Yes, cattle.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes. Thanks, P. Philip.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Oceania delegate.
I was going to say the same thing. Cows.
I guess ox is the produce ox.
Yeah, you can say ox, cattle, cows, that sort of whole bovine grouping together. I kind of give a hint here with the CH4 being methane here as well. I didn't want to say anything at the time, but yeah, I tried to give a little bit of a nudge in that. Okay. All right. So, a wonderful thing when you can recycle it. It can be reused up to how many times? Anybody know? 2, 6, 12, or 42? So this one, I have to admit, I definitely did not know this. This was really an aha moment for me. It is 6 times. You can recycle a piece of paper, just basic 11 and a half, anyways, yeah. Any sort of like paper that's like very, your stock office paper can be recycled 6 times. 8.5 by 11. That's what I want to say. Wish it were 42. That'd be great if it were 42, but it's in fact 6. Okay. Here we go back to countries and a beautiful image, satellite image of South America. Anybody want to offer up 3 of the countries that the Amazon rainforest spans across? Nada.
So 3 of them would be Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru.
Correct. Yep. And also the majority of it is in Brazil.
Yeah.
We also have Venezuela as well. Very good. Has anybody here been to the Amazon rainforest? It is on my list. I have not, but I really want to go. So all and again, like that is where a lot of the Earth's oxygen comes from. So that follows up with our next question. What is responsible for producing about 70% of the oxygen in our atmosphere? Yes, Keith.
Plankton.
That's correct. I was trying to be a little tricky here, putting the image of the trees, but it's not in fact the trees. It is the phytoplankton or marine plants. So it mostly comes from our ocean. 70% of the oxygen in our atmosphere. It's a huge number. Well, that is correct, and I apologize for trying to lead you astray with the image. Okay, so not a goose, but what bird species embarks on one of the longest migratory journeys connecting the Arctic tundra to the southern hemisphere? In Canada, anybody who leaves to go south for the winter is called a snowbird. So it's a very different type of snowbird.
Is it by chance the Siberian crane?
It's not the crane, no. Good guess though. Keith?
Arctic tern?
That is correct. It is in fact the Arctic tern, which maintains its name even when it's in the southern hemisphere. I mean, rename it the southern hemisphere tern, but I always wondered, like, you know, when humans maybe, you know, even 1,000 years ago saw migratory birds go somewhere, and those same birds would see different communities of humans where they never would have met, right? So you have these birds and the Inuit that are living up in the northern hemisphere in the Arctic tundra, and then going down south into the Mesoamerican peoples living there, they would see the same bird, yet they would never have any contact between each other, right? That's pretty cool. And they most likely did have different names for them as well. I'm going down a bit of a rabbit hole with this, but anyways, let us move along to the last question here. Which international agreement aims to regulate the trade of endangered species to protect biodiversity? Again, it's a long one, it's a mouthful, but if you know the acronym, that works too. Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, it is CITES, C-I-T-E-S, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. And there we have it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
How'd everybody do?
Yeah, you don't have to put your answer or your final tally, your final score down at the bottom or anything like that. You can if you want, but I hope you all enjoyed that. It was a bit of, you know, when you talk about the theme of the environment, there's so much you can cover, and in the half an hour, I wanted to give it as much of a cast as much of a wide net as possible on this. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. I'm going to pass it back to Alex and sign off, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of the conference.
Take care, Matthew. Thank you.
Thank you very much.